Good morning, everyone. This is actually my first time in this part of Canada. I spent quite a lot of time snowboarding over in Whistler, so not entirely new to me. All right, so what we want to talk about today is there's a lot of information about Magento, how things have changed, and this is pretty much what Michael also said, that e-commerce platforms have changed, like from a commodity over to like the baseline stuff that you need anyways, right? So doing e-commerce is not new for merchants. It's more the question, do we do it? What we often forget is that Magento is still like one of the most flexible merchant-focused platforms out there that's available, self-hosted. And we often need to remind ourselves that we're powering like countless businesses, success stories, a lot of the things that Michael also talked about. But Magento Association as like a governing body around all of that, we're not here to just maintain the past, we're here to build the entire future. So if we take a look at what makes open source thrive, this is pretty much how open source projects are put together. So we have quite a lot of code over here, and then there's also marketing stuff, events, and administrative tasks. And what we as Magento Association does is like the left part of it. At the beginning, I'd like to focus on the part on this side of things, which is Adobe's involvement in the entire platform. So Adobe takes care of security fixes, PHP compatibility fixes, and bug fixes within Magento's core. All these things, and you can see there's still a little bit of code involved, but it's not like the brunt work of coding stuff. That's all on Magento Association, and this is pretty much what we are charged to do. So we take care of a lot of the administrative things, so governance, structure, a little bit of guidance, but there's also quite a lot of legal stuff involved when you're dealing with trademarks and stuff. So this is what we do. Then we're also in charge of making events like these possible on a legal level. So we provide the license to organizers like Marsha and her team that then put together the whole event. We just need to deal with Adobe's legal team in terms of trademark usage. Then another thing that we're responsible for is basically the whole marketing strategy behind Magento open source as a code platform. And then there's also a little bit of code that we work with in order to make the product still strive and move forward. So Magento Association is pretty much the backbone behind the entire project. So we're not necessarily a gatekeeper, and there's quite a few people that have issues understanding that we are not Magento Inc. So if someone has like an idea of something they want to see within the whole open source project, just come up with the idea and we'll make it work. Because in open source, whoever delivers is right. What we do is that we kind of bring alignment, a little bit of structure to it, because otherwise it would just be Wild West. And we connect people because, as you can imagine, it's a global project. So we have, often there's quite a few people around the planet that have the same idea, and then we connect those people and make sure that they collaborate and bring those ideas to life. And like I said, it's a lot of governance, a lot of structure that we need to work with, so that's basically what we do. In terms of what we do like on a more concrete level, we are building an expert listing because that's something that got lost in the past. Because there used to be Magento partners, and then those were transferred over into Adobe's partner system, and that works a little bit different, but we're bringing that back. We are working on showcases so that we can have both agencies and merchants showcase their success stories, stuff they built with Magento open source, so that other merchants can get inspired to build the same. We're working on contribution points. That's actually in the making as we speak. And the whole idea is that whoever contributes to the Magento ecosystem as a whole, we somehow need to keep track of that and make sure that we recognize that. In the past, there was a Magento Masters program It's something along those lines, but slightly different, a little bit more transparent, the key point. Then, of course, Meet Magento events, but I think we've heard so much about what makes Meet Magento special. That's what we're working to do. We are bringing back the certification program. So we have certified Magento developers as opposed to just certified Adobe Commerce developers. It's also one need in the marketing department. And then, of course, Magento marketing. So we brought MagentoOpenSource.com back. And the news for this time of year is that we have teams in Germany and in Italy and in France working on a local translation of those websites so that we can have localized marketing for the platform as well. And then there's a big one that's like roughly a week old. That's the merchant documentation. So what we wanted to provide is we wanted to give a merchant an easy way to find solutions to common everyday tasks, and that kind of got lost a little bit. So we have a purely community-built and community-maintained website, which is docs.magentoopensource.com, which is very solution-focused. So it's not built into chapters and stuff, but we have like an AI agent in the back, so here goes AI. So you can basically ask questions what you're trying to achieve, and then the AI agent will figure out which page of content is most likely useful for you. This is full open source, so it's a GitHub project. Anyone can contribute, create pull requests if you think there should be more content in there, different content updates, etc. And I would like to thank Anand Pijera, Carl Simpson, David Lambauer, Nitin Yain, I hope I don't butcher his name too much, Vijay Golani, Denny Verkade, and for the design work, Christopher Dowson, who's right there. And he has an amazing talk about design work later on. So thank you very much for that. And then as a final bit of the whole puzzle, Magento Association is a non-profit organization. We're actually located right down here in Springfield, Illinois, so not too far from here. But this whole thing comes together with members. So that means the more members we have, the more forward momentum we can create. So if you believe that Magento is useful to the world, which I personally think it is, or that you think Meet Magento is useful for the world, please consider to become a member. Yeah, let's talk. We have a sponsoring booth right outside here in the other hall. Come find me, and then we can make bigger things happen. I will leave the QR code on the slides for a little bit because somebody told me marketing talks need to have QR codes. So just that one, but we're also easy to find. And that's it. Thank you very much. Marsha?